Look at me. I'm your captain now. The show, it starts now. What's going on, my good people? It is the DLLS Cowboys podcast, and we're shorthanded a little bit today. Ali is at the Star. Jeff Kavanaugh is at the crib. So you got, I know it's December, but you got the Black History Month edition of DLLS Cowboys.
The BET edition.
The BET edition. That's what we got. We got the BET edition, and new product we got out there. Get you a hat. Okay, we got shirts, the Shiesty shirts. We got hoodies. We got all types of stuff in the merch store. Some of them hats, man. New style, all different types of colors for whatever you like, whatever you need. All right, we got a jam-packed show today. Even though it's just two of us today, we got a jam-packed show. We're talking about Diggs. We're talking about, do the Cowboys still have a George Pickens problem? Can there be success in this season if they don't make the playoffs? We'll talk about all of that. But first, I'm Jesse Holly. Wait, that's not it. That is not. John, let's try this again. I'm Jesse Holly. Guys are going to be running butt naked. And to my right, it's the greatest beat writer in Cowboy history, Pop.
Muguletta.
Can
we do a better drop? Can I get something better?
We got 30 drops of you. There's 30 different drops of you. All right, man, the Cowboys getting ready this boy. The Cowboys, there's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Cowboys getting ready to take on the Minnesota Vikings this week. Schotty spoke yesterday. You were down there to get some audio and coach for him. And first you went through the injury report. Talked about Tyler Guyton. Will he play? One of their old dogs who bring that young energy, Jadeveon Clowney. What's his status with the hamstring? CeeDee Lamb in the concussion protocol. So just give us some of that injury update from the Star yesterday.
Well, the good news, number one, is CeeDee Lamb is still in the protocol, but he's trending in the right direction. It only has a couple of more, I think, steps to go through the process, but he was on the practice field.
Okay.
And so if he's on the practice field, that means you're going the right
going
direction.
through drills and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's running routes. So if he still has issue with the concussion, he's not out there running drills and running routes with the team. So, and he was listed as limited in practice. So it looks like CeeDee Lamb will be ready to go for Sunday against the Vikings. You know, he and George Pickens, two menaces, are going to be out there on the field and hopefully get the bounce back. He was having a great game against Detroit before, the concussion. As you say, Clowney, he was back in practice. He should be good to go. They missed Clowney against Detroit.
That hamstring injury.
The hamstring, he should be ready to go. Tyler Guyton is kind of the issue at hand. He was rehabbing with Brett Brown. I talked to him on Monday at the hospital visits. He didn't sound very confident, but he said, we'll see. And, obviously we'll see as the week goes along and if he can go. And again, you don't need a limited guy.
Right.
You need him back. He's better than Nate Thomas. Is it Nate Thomas?
It's Nate Thomas.
Yeah, I'm like, Nate. He's better than Nate Thomas. We've decided that.
Have
you guys
have we decided that? They were giving Nate Thomas the job.
Yeah,
they were saying we should have Nate Thomas in there. And now you're saying the better, now you want to get, now you fighting for
Listen.
To get Guyton back in there.
A healthy Guyton is better than a healthy Nate Thomas. There's no question about that. He clears him. But again, you don't need a limited Guyton on a bad wheel.
Right.
And so it's important that he's healthy and ready to go. But those are the issues. And then there's one Trevon Diggs.
Yeah.
Who actually returned to practice last week. And he was back on the practice field this week. Returned to practice from his, he was on IR for 4 weeks after the concussion, the mysterious concussion. And, then got put on IR because of problems, swelling, discomfort in a knee from 2 years ago. Not knee from knee from 2 years ago. He told us last week he was healthy. He felt good. He was ready to go. He said running and felt better now than he did at the start of the season. Except when it came time to play against Detroit, he did not play.
Yeah.
And so and then Jerry and Shotty have been. Words matter, okay?
Words do matter.
Words matter, and Shotty, when we asked about him yesterday, he talked about he's got to show he's ready to do everything the right way. Now he was put on injury reserve, for injury.
Yep.
The right way is not about the injury.
Right.
The right way is how you handle your business on and out the field. You know, we go back to Diggs from the offseason when he was docked $500,000 for not working out here. Got into a little tete-a-tete with the front office over there in training camp, sided with Michael Parsons in training camp. Then when the season started, basically blasted the defensive coordinator for his schemes. And so it's more than just the injury. It's everything that comes in it. That's all about the gumbo with Diggs. And to me, you know, when you come back from rehab, it's a 21-day window. So the 21-day window actually expires after the Chargers game, the Monday after the Chargers game. If you don't bring him back for the Vikings and the Chargers, and you probably need him against Detroit if he's healthy. If you don't bring him back for the Vikings and the Chargers, then why are you bringing him back at all?
I agree.
You know, and the bigger thing is the clock is ticking, not just for this season, but on this time with the Cowboys, because we all trust and believe that he will be a June 1st cut. They will move on from him after the season.
Yeah. It's all right, let's just keep it a buck. All right, let's keep it a buck. They don't like each other. This is not about injuries anymore. Right? This is not about injuries. And I'm not saying that Trevon Diggs is not, wasn't hurt, isn't hurt, all that kind of stuff. And here's where Shotty, the organization, here's where they play this dangerous game about picking and choosing who can do what, when they can do it. Because Trevon Diggs mentioned this a week or so ago when he said kind of like, certain things go to different people and that, right? And so like now that's Trevon, in my opinion, that's Trevon saying those things of like, well, so-and-so can do this, but I can't do this. And so-and-so can show up late, but I can't show up late. And so-and-so don't have to go to rehab, but they dock me when I don't go to rehab. And so they just come to this nasty, and Steven and Jerry can sit in the media and say all they want about, oh, we're good. They've come to a crossroad where their relationship has gone way sour and way south. This ain't Trevon Diggs' time here is done. It's not a matter of if, but when. And if they truly believe that Trevon could help them, he'd be on the field. I just don't believe at this point in time they feel like, or maybe they're petty enough, I just don't feel like at this point in time that they feel like that Trevon is an upgrade, a major upgrade than what they have right now.
And that's the question. So, and that's something we talked about last week. If he's healthy and he's ready to go, if he's healthy, and if they deem he's healthy, and Britt and Jerry said we got a lot of eyes on him. There's a lot of eyes on him, watching him in practice and everything he does and how he moves and everything else. We got a lot of eyes on him. If he's healthy, he is their most talented cornerback. If he's healthy. But okay. If he's healthy, forget the way. He's their most experienced cornerback with the best resume. Okay. The rest of these guys ain't never done nothing.
Now that
never Peter drop.
Now that I'm willing to go with you. Okay. I'm willing to lock arms with you and walk down whatever road you want to walk down on that. But we talk about this about every other player. For some reason, we give Diggs a pass in the sense of like, you may not be the same player that you were before. You had 3 major knee injuries. You had 2 ACLs and a microfracture. Those are major knee injuries. And maybe you just, I'm not saying that he isn't or he is. I'm saying maybe they're looking at him and they're saying, dog, you aren't what you once were.
They still putting Kenneth Murray on the field.
That's a horse of a different. Okay,
but that's what we're talking about though.
But I don't know they have anybody better than Kenneth Murray.
We don't know they got anybody better than Diggs.
You know what I'm saying?
We don't know they got anybody better than. Usually in these cases, and I've been around a long time, and you know the game. You follow the money.
Yeah,
you playing the guys that get paid the most money.
Yeah,
Diggs, you do that.
Yes.
One reason why Kenneth Murray playing, because he getting something. He getting the most money in the linebacker room right now.
Right.
Jerry don't pay guys to sit on the bench.
I agree.
Which is one reason why I got rid of Amari Cooper. I pay you all this money. You should be getting all the ball. Okay. If you're not gonna be the number one target, I'm not paying you top receiver money. Okay. So follow the money. So this tells you it's something else personal there, or something else is going on, because the money dictates, his experience dictates, his resume dictates that we're going to give him another shot, because these other guys ain't got no resume. They got no experience, and they ain't getting paid no money.
That we've already established. It's personal now.
Yeah, so therefore, and again, don't let your money get mad. And we're going to get into the next segment. This is about the opportunity, okay? And we certainly, the opportunity is wide open. If you're trying to win, if you're trying to make this a successful season, and he's one of your, if he's one of your better players than we, and that's what you're debating, whether he's one of your better players, still, you put your best players on the field. You don't let the personal stuff get in the way from you winning games. As I keep, just like with the Michael Parsons stuff, and people talk about, he did all I need is one play. The defense ain't get no turnovers. If his instincts can give me one stop in the fourth quarter after you've been a sieve all game, it's worth it.
Or
because he has taken the ball away.
You're right. Or could they also be saying is, I do believe this thing has gotten personal between coaches, front office personnel, hell, even trainers versus Trevon Diggs. And when you have that many people against you in the front office, it's nothing you can do.
Don't let your money get mad. This is about trying to win games and doing your best to win games.
We've long been past that. Right. They let their money get mad around here.
Right.
And it could also be they're saying, because there are some very real conversations that are happening behind closed doors that we aren't privy to, that sound a lot more like what we say than what they say at the podium. There's a lot more of the, we're not really making the playoffs happening behind the scenes. And now they're getting ready for
keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
And now they're getting ready for 2026. And now they can say to themselves, yes.
26 ain't promised. Don't do that.
But what they can say now is, how can we get the most reps for Savon Revel?
He getting them reps.
I know.
Put Diggs and Revel out there. Put Bland in the slot, and let's go. We don't need seatbelt on the field.
They're looking at what is our future going forward, because I need to have every indication.
You want to put Josh Butler out there? Huh?
No, I don't want to put Josh Butler out there. I'm saying if Seatbelt, Revel, and Bland are our DBs going forward, then let's see. Because now because they've already come to the conclusion at the end of this year, Diggs is gone. So let's see what we got in these players so that we can properly evaluate the guys that we plan on having going forward in the event that we decide Seatbelt ain't it. Well, Rebel has no choice to be here.
Kanan gone at the end of the season.
Right. So
there's a lot of guys that are playing who are gone at the end of the season. You're going to move on from, Clowney probably won't be back. So. Yeah,
but there's no.
Terrence Steele probably won't be back.
There's not guys that can play now. But see, here's the thing about guys like Terrence Steele. There isn't a player on your offensive line backup room that is probably better than Terrence Steele. And you still have to do your very best to protect your $60 million asset.
I don't know that Carson is better than Diggs.
No, I'm not saying that he is better than Diggs. What I'm saying is that the personal part has now come to the point where they're just saying, we're going to try to do our best to see what we got in these guys, because we know that, one, we're not making the playoffs, and two, I believe if you probably won in Detroit and that thing stayed alive, you might configure this thing a little bit different.
If you wanted Detroit without Diggs, he definitely wasn't coming back.
No,
I think it's more chance of coming back now because you got exposed in the secondary of Detroit.
I think now that you can pretty much, like I said, as those percentages drop.
If they beat Detroit without Diggs, why bring him back?
Because now there's a real life hope. Now I need all guys clicking on all cylinders. Because I may have to call on him. I may have to look at that. And like you said, you look at the percentages here for the Cowboys. It's a 10% probability. That's a long way to go.
But if they win out, I think it goes up to. If they win out, it goes up to like 40 or 50%. If they win out now, right now, but that's based on them not winning.
But they're also, again, we talked about the playoff race, and the old saying is the enemy. The what is it? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Mm-hmm. Well, the enemy of your enemies are not your friend. The enemies of your enemy would be the Commanders, would be the Vegas Raiders. They ain't your friend, because you know why? Their quarterbacks, Geno Smith out Jaden Daniels out. Those dudes who are right now looking at the
Raiders.
Raiders.
Might be better off without Geno Smith.
They
might be better off without Jaden Daniels. We'll see.
Come on, man. Stop that. All right, stop.
We're going to have a real conversation about Jaden Daniels at one time because it just these one-year runners, we just guys that one good year and we just anoint them as top quarterbacks. Second year, he has not been near as good at any game when he was healthy this year as he was last year. We have not seen none of the Jaden Daniels magic this year, even before he got hurt. Teams can get a book on you. I don't know how good he is. I don't.
Yeah, me neither. All right, man. Stay right here with us. When we come back, we'll look at the playoff picture. We got KBBU coming down the pike, so stay right here with us. We'll be right back. This is the Cowboys DLS Podcast. Ho, ho, ho. The holiday season is here, and you don't want to be one of those people who are last-minute shoppers. You don't want to be cruising through the malls and running down those department stores, and the shelves are empty. So what should you do? I have the perfect idea for you. You should go get yourself an Aura frame. Why? Because Aura frames are the absolute best and perfect gift for anyone in your family. So don't struggle for shopping anymore. Do like John did. Go out there and get you an Aura frame. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get 35% off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter. Use the promo code DLLS at checkout. The deal is exclusive to listeners, and the frames sell out fast. So order yours now. Get in time for the holidays. Support the show, and let them know what you got from our show at checkout. Terms and conditions will apply. And if you're thinking about, all right, I got my Aura frames, cool, we got that part. Now, what are we going to eat? I got the gifts. Now I have to figure out what we are going to eat. Wild Forks. Wild Forks Food. You can go out to the 9 DFW locations. Not 1, not 2, not 3. 9 DFW locations. They have everything that you could imagine. You want some rabbit? Wild Forks Foods got it. You want ostrich? Wild Forks Foods got it. You want brisket? You want steak? You want fish? Every single thing that you can imagine that you can cook up for the holiday dinner, you need to head out to Wild Forks Food and get it. Frozen is fresher at Wild Forks Foods. Their organic grass-fed beef is 85% lean. And right now, I know you've seen the way those beef prices are sky high. Beef is $5.60 each when you buy 2. That's about the best I've seen out there. I'm telling you guys, you have to go and try them at one of their 9 DFW locations. Learn more at wildforksfoods.com. Go do it now. Welcome back to the Cowboy DLS Podcast. Our Captain Hefe is out today. Ali is down at the Star. You got the BET edition. John is here, though, but John's in the back. John is here, and John is like our resident, like Eminem. You know what I'm saying? Like he's with us.
Yeah,
okay?
and I like John.
My top 5 rappers of all time.
Yeah, let me hear.
Eminem, Mac Miller,
See?
Vanilla Ice.
There you go. See?
That's all I can come up
He
with.
said Vanilla Ice.
See?
You gonna say Milli Vanilli next?
There you go, man.
Milli Vanilli.
You just got your
And I like John. I like, you know, he puts our thumbnails out. But my man, MD Rowe, can you dig it? That would have been good. Can you dig it?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? All right, man.
Yeah, you got to say it like that.
The playoff picture is kind of being painted a little bit. Hey, make sure you hit the like button. I know y'all, when Jeff not here, sometimes y'all get a little, hit the like button. We won't all be here. I'll be going, Jeff be going, Clarence be going, Ali be going, John be going. We all be out of here. Y'all hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. The Cowboys are on thin ice. I mean, they are skating on thin ice with the playoff picture, the way that it looks. When they lost that game against the Detroit Lions, their probability went down to 10%. And they need some help. The way to get in, you see right now, the wild card chances look very, very bleak. And the only way that it's going to probably happen for the Cowboys is if they get it by winning the division. We say that Philadelphia is collapsing. They're falling apart. And I agree. I agree with what Jeff said that months ago. I didn't agree months ago, but I agree now. But before we talk about the playoffs, Coach Schottenheimer, for a lot of people, there was this 50-50 divide. A lot of people thought, man, really great hire. A lot of other people thought, man, we didn't interview Ben Johnson. We ain't interview Cohen. We didn't interview a lot of different people who went out there, and I have Mike Vrabel, who having a lot of success in other places in this league, that we settled for the guy that was in the building, and Brian Schottenheimer. then the shoddy vibes came out, right? Everybody was feeling and loving the shoddy vibes and, things that were out of Shoddy's control when they traded away their best player on defense and Micah Parsons, maybe the best player on their team and Micah Parsons. And then you got to the point where the season became, and now this thing didn't quite go the way that the Cowboys had planned, right? 6-6-1 right now in this season. So my question to you and my question to all of you at home as well, can this season be a success if Shoddy and the Dallas Cowboys do not make the playoffs?
And I think Shoddy answered is no. I mean, we can fix our minds and say, well, we're building for next year. We got, Pickens and we got Quentin. It's going to look good next year. And I've always said next year is not promised. How we've convinced ourselves in the mind, I don't want to say F, but the mind F
flipping
that we've kind of convinced ourselves is once they traded Micah Parsons, people lost hope. And especially after the last few years, and there was, this fan base has been disillusioned and everything else and numb to whatever the Cowboys do. And then they start 3-5-1. And so everybody was already ready to building for next year, whatever else we were doing. And then they got on a 3-game winning streak. And then, how Shoddy's handled the kneeling stuff. And we got the positive vibes back. And people are like, oh, there's something here. We can, this defense has been revamped next year. Next year ain't promised.
It's not.
The goal, and Shoddy came and talked about winning Super Bowls and being here to win Super Bowl. That's what you do with the Cowboys, because that's the goal, to get in the playoffs and try to win a Super Bowl. It's not to build momentum and a foundation for next year. That's, as I've said this many times, many times, they do not hang division title banners or conference championship banners at AT&T Stadium. Actually, they hang no banners at AT&T Stadium because they won them all at Texas Stadium. But that's beside the point. There's only one goal here, and that's to get the playoffs in this 30-year drought. And the frustrating part for me, and the frustrating part that should be for you Cowboy fans, is that this is the time to make it happen. The iron is hot right now with the way your offense is going. It is wide open. We don't know what the future looks like next year. We don't know how the teams are going to shape up, but the NFC is wide open. If there's a chance to get into the playoffs and possibly make a run to the Super Bowl, the time is now.
Yeah.
And so if you don't make the playoffs, it's a huge disappointment. It started with trading Micah Parsons. Yes, I said it. It started with trading Micah Parsons and setting the expectations back a little bit, getting off to the awful start. Yeah, we can feel good about how Shoddy's managed the team. We can feel good about what Quentin Williams does. Most likely you're going to be changing defense coordinators, or you should be changing defense coordinators in the offseason. We still don't have pass rushers, right? You still have questions at cornerback. There are a lot of stuff out there that say, well, we'll get it. We built the team, and next year we're going to make the run. Well, you don't know.
No, I'm with you. And I don't believe if you do not make – I've always said this, and I'll always say this. I will never not think this way, feel this way. If you don't win the Super Bowl, if you don't win the NBA championship, if you don't win the World Series, if you don't win Lord Stanley Cup, your season was a failure. Now, in the failure, you can learn some things. So I'm not saying that you don't learn anything in failure, but there's not one team that started training camp in July, August, that said to themselves, man, if we just win 10 games, that's success for us. Every team was marching forward with the idea of we have a team good enough to win a Super Bowl. Yeah. That has always been the goal. And so if that's always a goal for 32 teams in the league every single year, it's the goal for me.
Right.
And if you don't reach the goal, to me, you failed.
Right.
And if you don't make the playoffs, you double failed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You super failed, in my opinion. And to your point, like, we don't know what next year brings. It could be an injury. It could be a lot of different things. And you said it earlier. Teams will get the book on Brian Schottenheimer. They'll see that, because there's not one coach that doesn't have patterns. There's not one coach that doesn't have things, the way that they do certain things. And now that they have a full year on him, they'll be able now to come in and say, this is how he wants to do things. Here's what it looks like with this quarterback. And you have to make sure that all the guys that you want to bring back come back.
Right.
There's still a conversation about what will happen with with George Pickens. You don't know what your offensive line is going to be. Linebacking core is in question. Cornerback is in question. Safety is in question. You still need pass rushers. So, this has been one of the years when you talk about the league having that parity, where everything is really open. There is, at least in the NFC, there is no dominant team like we've had in the past. There's been times where you're just like, man, I don't care what you're talking about. The Niners are the most dominant team,
right.
They're like, you just, whoever it was at that particular time, you just knew that was the most dominant football team that you had to see in that particular case. But you don't get to the playoffs, man. That to me is because that's 2 years in a row. No, that's back-to-back season where you don't make the playoffs.
And again, two things here, because everybody keep with the draft picks. Get them picks. The picks ain't guaranteed. You get Miley Smith one of them picks.
Okay, okay, Les Snead Hill.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm sorry, Jeff. They don't guarantee them picks gonna turn out to be anything.
That's true.
We don't know. And so I did it. Yeah, we improved it. We got Quinn. We add them draft picks, and we're gonna be ready to go. Most picks don't come in and hit. It may take them 1 or 2 years to hit, especially if you're picking, 15 or later. Or 20 or later. Those picks are not going to be top 10 picks.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you said they made the playoffs last year. The only time they haven't competed and made the playoffs when Dak wasn't healthy. You got a healthy Dak Prescott who's playing MVP level, and you don't make the playoffs with a healthy Dak Prescott playing MVP level, that's a disappointment.
Major.
That's a major setback. That is the problem. Because again, he could get hurt next year. We've seen the injuries and how they've come down the pike and missing games and stuff like that.
Let me ask you this question. Because with the vibes of Shotty and all the things that Shotty brought and everybody, he's got the shiesty mask on, and he's playing the music and he's all that kind of stuff. And he's like, this truthful guy in the media. Can you build culture without the wins?
I think that this year there's a chance you could because of the Neyland situation. I think that there's something that they're building, they've shown, especially if they get to win out and get 10 wins, and how they respond and how they've handled the adversity. I think you can build something there. I think that's something that's foundational in what they would have done at the end of the season.
Okay.
I think that how he's managed this team with Dak and those guys, there's some foundational there. But the bottom line is the bottom line. You play to win. Okay, and so we can, at the end of the day, we can feel good about that. But again, if you don't build on that and it turns into something real next year, then he's back on the hot seat.
I've waffled back and forth between can you build culture without the wins and the victories and the win column success, and I've gone back and forth because I look at Detroit. And I remember the first season that Dan Campbell got to Detroit. They were like 1-15 or 0-15, something crazy like that. They didn't win many games that
biting out kneecaps.
And and it was a stick-to-itiveness that they had, that their team had, and they continue to build themselves up. Now that they've built themselves up to a place where the Detroit Lions are more than a respectable team that's talked about week in and week out in the National Football League, year in and year out in the National Football League. But I've also been on the other side. I'm like, they've been trying to build culture in Oakland/Vegas for a long time with the Raiders. And they're trying to build culture in Cleveland for a long time. And it's just like, I don't know what side of the ledger that I fall on of can you build a true culture if the winning doesn't, the victories don't come along with it.
Let's just stop with Detroit, because I think Detroit's a prime example of what I'm talking about. And I talked to my friends in Detroit about that last week. 2 years ago, with the NFC Championship game, that was their year.
Yeah.
And everybody said, oh, yeah, we had the NFC Championship game. He went for it and did all that crazy stuff, which he's always been doing. That was their year. Oh, well, we're going to do it next year. Next year didn't happen. They lost to Washington in the first round. Okay, well, next year we're going to do it. This year they scuffling to make the playoffs. Next year ain't promised. I don't care what you've done this year.
No, you're right.
And everybody knows Detroit, the next team, they got the quarterback, the running backs, the receivers, the defense, everything else. It ain't promised. Things happen.
No.
And so you got to strike while the iron's hot. You got to maximize your opportunities when they come. And so we can all feel good about the future, but Detroit's a prime example of the Bears have passed them by. The Packers have passed them by. They're not the it team anymore.
Does Shotty have the it? Does Shotty have the it?
Well,
yes or no?
You can't have the it if you don't win. There's no its. There's no its without a title. There's no it without the hardware. He got the icks right now, but there's no its without the hardware, right? The Cowboys got the icks. I mean, come on, Jerry got the icks. There's 30 years of the icks. You're talking about the its. There's 30 years of the icks right now. You don't get the it without the hardware.
Got the worms. That's what my grandma said. You got the worms. You got
saying Jerry got worms?
No, you said Jerry.
No, you just said
I said my grandmother
you said
used
old
to
man
say.
got worms.
I didn't say that. I said
yes,
my
you
grandmother used to say.
Man, why she say that? What's she talking about?
She talking about just being a little fast-tailed little boy out there talking about you gonna get the worms.
Mm.
All right, man. All right, don't leave us, man. Make sure you hit the like button, man. Coming back.
We ain't got 100 likes yet. Come on.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Let's get to the 100 likes. Coming back after this. We take it to the classroom, man. KBBU, I get you ready to go. The Cowboys have to face a blitzing Brian Flores this weekend, and I'll tell you one of the blitzes that I think the Cowboys have to watch out for. And KBBU, stay right here with us. We'll be right back. What's going on, people, man? It's your boy, Jay Holly, and if you're having some roof trouble, I don't know, maybe some leaks, maybe some shingles are off, or maybe you're just trying to figure out, I think I got something on. I'm not quite sure. I have the people that you should call. Call my friends at Qualis Roofing and Construction. They are the most trusted roofing company and construction company in North Texas. And if you live in Austin, you should holler at them too. And they're not just coming to take your money, they're bringing gifts. If you call and get a free inspection, they're going to give you a free DLLS t-shirt. Pick one, they're going to give it to you. And if you go and you get work done by Qualis Roofing and Construction, they're going to give you either a free Traeger grill or a black stone top grill, flat one, the good one. So all you got to do is mention us, DLLS, and call them right now, QualisGQ.com, or hit them up online. Hit them up online at QualisGQ.com or call them at 817-500-9008 to get started today. And the Cowboy season is underway. It's almost like we're going to make the playoffs. Maybe, maybe not. The Mavs season is underway. But big news. I don't know if you guys heard it or not. The World Cup is coming to DFW. That's right there in Arlington. They'll have the World Cup. And if you want the easy and the most stressless way to get tickets, holler at my friends at Game Time. That's right. With a no haggle pricing, you get right to the meat of it. They're not going to give you all these other fluff stuff where you get to the checkout line and all of a sudden you don't know what the price is. You just go ahead, use the Game Time app. You got to download it first. Use the Game Time app for any of your ticket purchases. Take the guesswork out of buying soccer tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Swipe, tap, tickets, go download the Game Time app. What time is it? Game time. Ooh. Welcome back to Cowboys DLLS Podcast. I'm Jesse Holly. It's Clarence Hill. We're without Jeff Eiley down at the Star doing his great work down there. And make sure you guys are liking, subscribing. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Make sure you guys are telling a friend to tell a friend. But it is time, my favorite day of the week, because, hell, I did it. It's time to go to the classroom. KBBU, No Ball Better University, brought to you by Qualis Roofing and Construction. So, as I always say, welcome. Class is now in session. All of you that are good students, come on down to the front. All you riffraffs and you wahoos, get to the back or get the hell out of my classroom. I'm getting ready to learn you a little something right now. The Cowboys take on the Minnesota Vikings this Sunday night. And what this offense has to look forward to is, I call him a sicko. There's only a couple of defensive sickos in the National Football League. The Cowboys will be facing one of these sickos this weekend, and Brian Flores. Here's what you have to know about Brian Flores. He gonna blitz you when he get off the plane. He gonna blitz you in the morning. He gonna blitz you at lunchtime. He gonna blitz you at night. He is going to blitz you at every single chance that he gets. That's what Brian Flores wants to do. Brian Flores wants to send exotic blitzes, zone blitzes, man blitzes. He wants to confuse the hell out of the offense. And I know that you can look at the Minnesota Vikings right now and you can say, well, they don't have such a great record. It ain't because of the defense. I can promise you that. Their defense is ranked amongst the top 10. I think they're 8th overall in the National Football League right now. Brian Flores and this defense, he likes smart veteran players. He likes guys who understand his scheme because it can be confusing. He's going to line guys up in the gaps at the line of scrimmage. They're going to bail out late. Linebackers and DNs going to be dropping into coverage. Guys who you think aren't going to be blitzing will be blitzing. It is going to be one of these deals where the Cowboys offensively, Schotty and Dak Prescott are going to have to be on their P's and Q's. And we've talked about this long before about the slants that they run when they're in man-to-man coverage. He's going to try to have an answer for that. And these DBs aren't any pushovers. They got some pretty decent DBs out there, and they get good practice because while they don't have a CeeDee Lamb and a George Pickens, they got a Justin Jefferson, and they don't get much better than Justin Jefferson in this league. So these DBs get practice every single day against going up against one of the best wide receivers in the league. All right, John, let's go to the tape. So one of the things I want to talk about that I think that the Cowboys should be on a lookout this weekend, this Sunday night is what we call a cross dog blitz. This is where your linebackers are, it's self-explanatory, right? Cross dog is they're crossing in the A gaps. One's going to go in one A gap, the other is going to go in the other A gap. And what they want to do is, Brian Flores, he wants to confuse the offensive lineman. He wants to confuse the count. So you look at this picture right here. Those are your two linebackers. Now, normally they'll line up the linebackers, and I'll show you that on the next clip, in the A gaps. This time they're running the cross dog blitz from depth. Now, when you go and look at this thing, man, these are the two linebackers that they're going to be focused on that'll be doing the cross dog blitzing. But here's how they confuse you. It's because they begin this process with, all right, let's do the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys at the line of scrimmage. So most quarterbacks come up and go, 5 guys down. These are the 5 guys that we have. Right here at Washington, they use a little bit of emotion to kind of get an indicator. All right, what are they in? They send a tight end in motion. Nobody follows him, so that's a clear indicator that what? It's zone coverage. But now with zone coverage, they're looking at, all right, here's what this cross dog is going to look like. Because before the ball was snapped, they did a 5-on-5 count. That tackle goes out, the guard goes out, the center's going to the third guy on that side. The back 2 guys, they're going to take those other back 2 guys, and now the quarterback and the running back has these 2 guys in the middle. Normally you have a back come in there and pick up that blitz, and the quarterback has to beat the other linebacker with the throw, right? So now you see this thing right here, and now they go, ball is snapped. Here's what they want. They want the confusion. They want the line to see one thing and make a count, and then after the count, they want to bring this cross dog blitz. So when you go back and you see it, that first linebacker pace, he comes into what would be one A gap. The other linebacker loops around him. And now they would have a pretty good play set up right here. Throw it out to the running back. He's supposed to be able to beat that, but the receiver on the outside got beat on the block and didn't go for pretty much. But you see, this is where they want to make that confusion because it looks like it's 5 down linemen. So we go 5 for 5. And normally, if the linebackers aren't mugged up into the offense, to the line of scrimmage, they're considering those guys just regular drop zone guys, especially when the tight end went in motion and nobody followed him. They're thinking, all right, those guys are just going to be in their drop zones. And so they confuse the offensive line right there. They make the ball come out quick. Guys can't get on their blocks, and they don't get much in this particular play. Now, go to the next play. Same thing right here. Now you look up there and you see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys at the line of scrimmage. And what's going to happen is you have your 2 guys who are lined up. We call it mugged into the defensive line in the A gaps. The guy on the end is Harrison Smith, a smart veteran safety. He's going to get out of there. But again, quarterback comes to the line. The offensive line are now making their calls, right? Center is saying, we're going here. We're sliding. We're going 5-on-5, whatever it may be. But here's where they want to confuse you. Again, because now you look up here and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're saying to themselves, we got 6 for 6. 5 offensive linemen, 1 running back. We can pick this up because Harrison Smith has backed out of there. This is what they want you to believe. Now, here's how they want to confuse you. Again, a cross dog. They're going to have one guy come in and he's going to go into the center and the other guy's going to wrap around. And they want the center and the running back to jump to one guy. If they jump to one guy, then that means there's another guy coming free. And now as you see this plays happen, the center and the running back are confused. This is going to be imperative for Cooper Beebe and Javonte Williams being able to communicate where we're going. Now, it makes it a little bit more difficult because normally, if you had one guy mugged up in the A-gap, the center would normally say, I'll take the most dangerous, and then you'll have the back, what we call scan protection, is that now the center takes the most dangerous, and the back is now able, because he's set off the line of scrimmage, to be able to scan through and pick up any loose chains that might be coming through the offensive line. But when they're mugged up in the A-gap, you tell me who's the most dangerous. You don't know. So there needs to be a clear delineation between who's the most dangerous, which way I'm going and shifting and turning, and how the back has to pick that up. They don't do it properly right here. And you see, I don't care what era, I don't care what quarterback, I don't care what team. No quarterback wants pressure coming down the pike.
In their face.
They don't want the pressure in their face. They can handle it from the outside. They can handle it from other gaps. But when it comes down the middle, that's where they are most susceptible to either dropping their eyes and not looking downfield. I can't follow through on the pass. I can't get the ball out quick. So for me, the Cowboys have to be on their P's and Q's, because Brian Flores will send many different blitzes. He's going to send many different configurations, many different disguises. But one of the things that they want to get home with is with the cross dog blitz. As you saw, they're going to run it from depth. They're going to run it from those guys mugged up in the A-gaps. And that center and that running back, they have to be on the same page. And they're going to try to confuse the Cowboys up front. They're going to try to confuse the quarterback. And he is going to have to make sure that they are always on their P's and Q's. I believe that the offense for the Cowboys, they need to have the quick game, the screen game in full force and in play this weekend against this Brian Flores defense. Because if you don't have an answer for the way that he blitzes in these guys, and especially for a cross dog blitz, you will find yourself in some serious, serious trouble. So that's what we're looking at. That's one of the things that I found out when I was watching film. Brian Flores and his many different disguises, the cross dog blitz is one that they run, and they run it successfully. And I can almost bet your bottom dollar they're going to run it against the Cowboys this weekend. They better be ready for it. That's KBBU for you right there, man.
That's a good job. That's good information on KBBU. You put it down again.
Thank you, man. That's what she said.
Put it down again. Well, I don't know what she said. Was that somebody's mama? Okay. Anyway,
yeah, I guess.
You put it down again. But two things. Javonte Williams has been very good.
He has.
He's been very. That's why Jadon Blue can't get on the field. That's why
Yeah, it's a little bit more why Jadon.
Well, but I'm just saying. But his ability to block and protect in the blitz, and he's done that better than run the ball lately.
Yeah.
Because the running game has declined. The efficiency of running game has declined. Since all the stuff we saw at the start of the season. But he's been great protecting and blocking against the blitz. The Cowboys don't screen a lot. They're not a big screen team.
Yeah.
You talked about they need to get the screen game. Maybe they do the screen to the receivers, or something, but they're not really a big running back screen team, especially with Williams, because he don't really get out there fast enough. I don't think he's a good screen guy.
And see, that's when you look at guys like Jadon Blue.
That's what he should be.
Yeah. Great in the scheme game. I think that's another component that the Cowboys they should add to the mix of things, because I think that then allows them to be multiple. And now you can continue to have keeping defense on their toes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got here. We got some super chats. Dro knows in the super chat. This organization could consider tanking. Is that Dro knows or that's Jeff?
That's
Cowboys are
Jeff.
Cowboys are currently 15th in draft order behind Kansas City and Baltimore. That historically draft extremely well. Meaning Kansas City and Baltimore.
I don't know that Kansas City drafts as well as we think they do. But Baltimore definitely drafts well.
Should they consider tanking?
No. Yeah, we're not tanking. Why would they? Again, we just had a whole segment about making the playoffs and maximizing this opportunity. They
ain't making the playoffs, bro. They ain't making
the playoffs?
No.
So you don't think they're winning out?
I think they'll win out.
You don't think the Eagles going to lose 2 games?
No.
Eagles losing 2 games.
I don't think so. I think the Eagles may lose
to the Bills. The positivity
rabbit
is gone.
I think they may lose to the Bills. What are you talking about, playing the Raiders and Washington twice?
Those
two teams have no They have no incentive to win.
They don't have anything, but Washington gonna get them. I mean, it's a rivalry game. Come on, Washington gonna get. We've seen this happen.
It ain't a rivalry.
It is a rivalry.
No, it's not.
It is a rivalry. Washington gonna get them one time.
It's a rivalry when
Washington will get them one time, and then you count on the Bills to get them on the road. Washington and Bills back to back. That's where the Cowboys hope lies. But take care of your business.
All right,
don't know Tank.
MD Rowe in the super chat. The way for this season to be successful is to learn that losing is to learn that losing is a lot of little ways is what keeps you from winning on the big stage.
Losing in a lot of little ways is where it keeps you winning.
In a lot, yes, keeps you from winning on the big stage.
Well, no doubt. But again, it's 30 years. They've had a lot of lessons. They had a lot of lessons on losing in little ways, in big ways,
medium ways,
messed up ways, self-destructive ways. They've learned.
Yeah.
They got a graduate degree on losing.
That's true.
And ways to lose over the last 30 years. Now it's time for the winning to come. It needs to come now. One more thing. I just want to say that you talked about the guards and I still worry about the tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And I still worry about, they'll be able to protect on the outside. Certainly, protecting up front. You talk about the center and guards and the blitzes come. I still worry about the two tackles, especially if Guyton's not healthy.
Yeah.
Protected because Dak was in a world of hurt against Detroit.
Yeah, and it's a copycat lead. They're gonna check and see if you got that fixed. All right, stay right here with us. We're coming right back, and we're gonna ask the question: do the Cowboys still have a George Pickens problem? We'll answer that question when we come back. This is the Cowboys DLLS podcast. We're back in a second. And it's that time, man. It's the Christmas season is here. You're looking for gift ideas for your people. Hell, gift idea for yourself, because sometimes taking care of you is what you need to do. Check out these new hats right here. If you're a hat person, I got my Scully on today, but Clarence is normally a hat dude. Jeff is a hat dude. John's a hat dude. If you're a hat dude or someone that you love is a hat dude, then you need to head over to our merch shop right now and get our new DLLS caps. They have them in all these different styles and colors. I like the DLLS one on the far right, the black and white one. I think that one can go just about anything. We even got the one with a rope. I keep telling you, the hat with a rope on it, it's going to come in handy when you least expect it the most, man.
Listen.
When you need a rope.
And these are Brandon Bills hats. These are quality hats. Don't let the sticker price shock you. I got our friend, you call her Lady Eloise, Kimberly. She likes the Brandon Bills. She said, I want a hat. She's like, oh, they're Brandon Bills.
Oh, that's good.
They're Brandon Bills. Those are good hats.
Yeah. And then make sure you guys become a diehard. Like, let's stop playing around. You get all the great content and quality that we get. You're already getting the shows for free, right? You get DLLS, you get the Rangers, you get the Mavs, you get the Stars. I'm sure we got some wing stuff happening. We got a bunch of stuff happening. But subscribe. You get the newsletter. Ali, ain't gonna be no errors in that. Ali gonna get that thing right.
I don't know why you gotta do that. I was at an event last night. Joe Chavez. You know Joe?
Yeah, I know Joe.
Talked to him last night. He said he was on his treadmill and he listened to all the show. Yeah. He said, I like y'all stuff.
He'll text me sometimes.
He said, I listen to every show. Mavericks, Cowboys, Rangers, Stars. He said, I just like y'all's energy. I listen to every show. And that's what you get.
Shout out to Joe, man. Joe's a good dude. We did some work. Joe and I did some work together not too long ago on a little skit thing that
I was at the Netflix house.
Like a Diddy party over there, man. All right, man, go ahead and become a diehard. Hit the QR button and subscribe. Welcome back to the Cowboys DLLS podcast. Jeff is out. Ali is at the Star. You get the BET edition of the DLLS Cowboys show. Myself and Clarence Hill.
The Where Your Mama At edition.
The what?
The Where Your Mama At edition.
The what?
The Where Your Mama At edition.
The Where Your... No, this is...
Let me holler at your mama edition. What your mama look like edition?
What the aunties at? What the aunties at? What the aunties at?
When I started this business, I was the same age. I'm at the same age as Michael and Emmett. So I'm going to the clubs, hanging out with them. I'm not saying dating the same caliber, but we're the same.
Yeah, you getting the crumbs. You getting the crumbs. All right, see now.
And now,
I'm
the same age as the players' mamas.
Agree that you getting the crumbs. You got the crumbs.
I cover them. I can't live like them. I've always said,
crumbs.
I cover them. I can't live like them. I cover them. I can't live like them.
Crumbs from Emmett and Michael. It's not a bad thing, right? Troy, you got the crumbs. You wasn't getting the big piece of bread.
Do I really want Michael's crumbs? Do I
don't know.
Do I need to put a white suit
I don't know.
gloves?
You was getting.
Do I really want them crumbs? There's certain crumbs you don't want. You got to stay away from.
You was getting the butt part of the bread. You was getting the booty part of the bread.
Sir.
You wasn't getting the good part of the bread.
As I told Michael, I pulled out a tennis shoe contract.
Listen, come on now. You wasn't in the club with Michael and Emmett and Dion and all them, and you was getting a good slice of bread. You got the butt ends.
I mean, there's some people that just, they didn't want
all
of that. They wanted this.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of crumbs, man. Ain't nothing
sir.
wrong with a little bit of crumbs, man. All right, the Cowboys last week against the Detroit Lions, there was an issue, and some bigger than others. I feel like it's been who he's been all year long, but George Pickens didn't have the game that people thought he should have. Thought that there was some loafing. Thought that there were some things that he could have done better, and it opened up a media firestorm. The questions had to be answered. The questions had to be asked about George Pickens. We know everything that we heard about what he did in Pittsburgh, and everyone uses the term now, crash out. And everybody was waiting for the moment in time where George Pickens would crash out. And a lot of people thought that, against the Detroit Lions, that's when we saw the George Pickens kind of crash out, where you saw the thing that they talked about in Pittsburgh about George Pickens and the lackadaisicalness and the effort and all those type of things. And then you see the
response on
social media to Richard Sherman. And then now, Jerry Jones comes out and he says, unequivocally, I ain't worried about that. As long as he keeps, to paraphrase, as long as he come the ball, I don't care about that. I don't care about that targeting. I don't care about all the other stuff. Just come to play on Sunday and to not question the effort and the love of the game of George Pickens. Right. But coming into this week against the Minnesota Vikings, all eyes will be on George Pickens and his effort and his routes and his hands and everything. Because people will dissect it. The way they did CeeDee Lamb, they ready to throw him to the wolves.
Right. Bad body language. But
do the Cowboys, do they have a George Pickens problem?
No, I don't think they have George Pickens problems. And I don't think the Detroit situation was a crash. I think he had bad, I think his energy was low, and I think that some people in the organization think his energy is low, but crash out is him going,
right. I agree.
Crashing out.
Right.
And he didn't really crash out on the Cowboys. Now, he said some things on social media, and he deleted it against Richard Sherman. But I don't see that was a crash out situation. So I just think that, he wasn't into it like he had been. And Jerry talked about it. He said, when I want to make as much of one game, but if you want to compare one game to other games, that was something different. And we can acknowledge there was something different, but I don't know if it's a bigger problem. We'll see over the next 3 or 4 weeks. But I think he'll bounce back, have a big game. They're going to feed him. They're going to give him opportunity to play. Certainly with his blitzing, there are going to be plays going to be made in the second. The receivers are going to have opportunities to make plays. I think he and Lamb will have a chance to make plays against the secondary. So I don't think it will be a problem now. It's going to be a problem when it comes to signing the contract. Now, if you tag him, he might crash out, and things like that. But understand this. The Cowboys have already put up with a lot. The things that they haven't talked about, but he's been fined a lot for missing meetings and things like that throughout the season. He's been fined a lot. Then you add in the NFL fines for excessive celebrations, things like that. He's been fined a lot.
Yeah.
And those things will be brought up when it's time to talk negotiations.
I agree with you. And do I think the Cowboys have a George Pickens problem? They have a George Pickens problem. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, the problem is what you do with him. Do we have a Pickens problem on the field as we go for the last 4 games?
So
that's 2 different things.
So here's my thing. In my personal opinion, I didn't see any difference overall in the George Pickens the last 10 games to what I saw in Detroit. The only difference is he didn't make the plays.
Right. Well, that's part of who he is.
Now,
he's special at making those plays. Those contested catches, reaching for the ball. He didn't.
Now, that part, I say, okay, that wasn't his best performance. But when you go back and you look at the route run, that's who he's been all year. I've screamed that from the mountaintop. That's who he is. He ain't running his routes fast. The only difference, I told you guys this before. Don't tell me about, his ball security on the goal line. If you didn't complain about his ball security when he was jumping over folks and waving the ball all around and doing all
That's
that.
who he is.
Don't complain about it when he fumbles on the goal line. Don't. Because you didn't complain about it when he was making the plays and jumping over people and stiff-arming folks and all that kind of stuff. And so that's who he is. That is who he is. The kind of laissez-faire route running, that's who he is. That's who he is.
It's not the route running. I think it was just the not catching the ball.
He didn't make the plays.
Being nonchalant about going after the balls.
But
that's what it was.
He always had like George Pickens always has a nonchalant way about him. Mm-hmm. Now, does he attack the ball when it gets near?
Yes. He didn't attack the ball.
Right. And so, that's why I say certain catches that he normally makes, he didn't make. And that's the only reason people are having this fallout. But I think it's overboard. I think it's done overboard. This is what you're like, whether you franchise tag him, whether you give him $100 million. He ain't changing up how he runs his routes.
No, just catch the ball, make the plays. Now, he comes with the dinner. Now,
do I think there should be some, I'll say this for sure. The Cowboys will definitely, this won't go undocumented. The fines won't go undocumented. The tardiness, the missing, that won't go undocumented. And that will come up when he least expects it.
Right.
He's going to try to come in there like, hey, I did this. I got 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns. And I took the league by storm this year. They're going to say, yeah, but you missed planes and buses and meetings. And that's going to definitely come back to haunt them. If there is a problem in my eyes, it's the fact that all the things that we talked about that he's doing, knowing he's trying to win over an organization for a contract.
Yeah.
And if
once he gets the contract,
fines aren't bothering him, clearly. Fines aren't bothering him because I'm sure he's probably over $100,000 this year in fines. And I don't care how much money you make, brother. When you start getting into those 6 and 7 figures in fines, that would bother me. It would bother me a lot. But he doesn't care. That's the part that I'm like, okay, that might grow into something greater if you sign him for large money.
Yeah, and it just opens up so many different conversations. Because I just, there's a big thing on social media.
But I want him on my football team.
Yeah, you want him on
I want him. Let me be clear.
Yeah.
Don't cut this out, John. Let me be clear.
Yeah.
No, let me be clear.
Yeah.
I want him.
But when you say you don't care about the fines, to me it opens up conversation because Odell Beckham's, got a lot of flack for saying $100 million ain't a lot of money. But I got, but it's how you waste money. It's wasteful.
Yeah.
It's wasteful to get that money back. Ali just sent me a text message saying Flu said that the Cowboys want to see more consistency from Diggs at practice. Mm. So it's always, so it ain't the health. It's he's healthy, ready to go. Like, Overshawn came back, cleared to go, put him on the field. Do you think he need to show consistency in practice?
No, this is personal.
Yeah, it's personal.
This has become personal.
That's what is that consistency in practice? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Ain't like y'all practicing hard.
Yeah, this is personal. They're going to be able to nitpick every little thing, and and it is basically almost. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's basically to the point where they know that Trevon's trying to get back on the field so that he can try to put some sort of good film out there to help his value in the offseason. I think he won't have a problem finding a job. Again, there's a lot of dudes in this league who can't play football that they give starting jobs to each and every year. But I think that they know that he needs to get this film out there to show team that I'm healthy and that I can still play.
Right. And
they're gonna make him jump through hoops. They're gonna make him beg. They're gonna make him come hat in hand and beg and do everything that I say you need to do before I put you back on that field. You're gonna have to I ain't gonna say what I want to say. All right, let me get to these super chats right here. This is from Dro Knows. Think the Falcons will cut ties with Raheem Morris? If so, could we bring him in as the DC? He could be a Bagger Vance to Scotty's Captain Juan. I don't know what that is.
1A. 1 year. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I mean, again, Raheem Morris has to want to come.
Is he that type of? Is he a Robert Saleh level defense corner? I don't know.
I don't know either. MD Rowe, I think having Dak as a QB gonna really help GP3. I mean, that's evident.
Yeah,
it's already helped
that-
him.
yeah.
It's already helped him. Like, Dak is gonna be able to get him the ball in a number of different ways. Dak is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in this league. He's playing at an extremely high level. Dak has entered that era where the game is slowed down to
Very
him
much
so
so.
much that he's able to do a lot of different things. All right, man, that's our time today, man. We thank you all for joining us. Remember, hit the like button, subscribe button, do all those great things. Hopefully, Jeff will be back tomorrow. We'll probably have it. You gonna be here tomorrow?
No.
Nah, you gonna be.
I'll
at the
be
Star.
here tomorrow. Yeah.
I'll be tomorrow. Your boy Jay Holly will be here tomorrow, man. Thank you guys, man. Appreciate you all, man. See you guys tomorrow. Remember, you never know what anyone's going to, so be kind to everyone, and of course, eliminate the contingencies.
We all silly like the mayor.